Another Christmas, another chance for Sarah to tell us about her little app, my sister Jennifer announced to the family gathering, wine glass in hand. Everyone laughed, settling in for what they thought would be their annual tradition of mocking my startup. If only they knew I was here to buy the company they all worked for. How many users do you have now? My brother-in-law Mark asked with fake interest. Dozens. I took a sip of wine, hiding my smile. About 50 million active daily users, actually. They laughed harder. Of course they did. To them, I was still the family disappointment who'd quit her real job at their precious Anderson Financial 3 years ago to build a fintech app. 50 million. Jennifer snorted. That's more than Anderson Financial's entire client base. Is it? I asked innocently, knowing exactly how many clients Anderson Financial had. I'd seen all their numbers during the due diligence process. My father, executive VP at Anderson, shook his head. Honey, maybe it's time to be realistic. There's still an opening in our marketing department. Pass, I said, checking my phone. My assistant had just texted, acquisition papers ready. Board meeting scheduled for tomorrow morning. Jennifer peered over my shoulder. More app updates? Or are you finally updating your resume? I locked my screen before she could see the message from my lawyers confirming the hostile takeover details. Something like that. The family gathering continued its usual pattern. Jennifer bragging about her corner office at Anderson. Mark talking about his latest promotion. Dad discussing the company's bright future. None of them had noticed that Anderson Financial's stock had been quietly declining for months. None of them had realized that my little app, FinFlow, had been eating into their market share, stealing their younger clients with our superior technology. And none of them had any idea that tomorrow, I would walk into their board meeting not as the family disappointment, but as the CEO of the company buying them out. My phone buzzed again, another text from my assistant. Their board doesn't suspect anything. Still think they're meeting with anonymous investors. Perfect. Sarah, Mom called from the kitchen. Are you sure you don't want to reconsider Dad's offer? The marketing position comes with benefits. I have benefits, I said quietly. Really good ones, actually. Being a billionaire tech CEO had its perks. Food stamps don't count, Jennifer quipped, causing another round of laughter. I stood up, gathering my coat. I should go. Big day tomorrow. Oh. Mark raised an eyebrow. Finally got a real job interview? Something like that, I smiled. Actually, I have a meeting at Anderson Financial. Dad frowned. I haven't heard about any meetings tomorrow except the board meeting with those major investors. Exactly, I said, heading for the door. By the way, how's the company's tech integration going? Still running on that legacy system from 2010? Before they could answer, I was gone. Tomorrow they'd understand exactly what my little app had become. And exactly who those anonymous investors were. I got into my Tesla, which they thought was a rental, and called my assistant. Is everything ready for tomorrow? Yes, Ms. Chin. The acquisition papers are prepared, and security has your private elevator access set up. Perfect. I smiled, thinking of Jennifer's corner office. And the org chart changes? Ready to be implemented immediately after signing. Would you like me to prepare termination papers for any specific executives? I thought about Mark's smugness, Jennifer's mockery, Dad's dismissal of my dreams. No, I said finally. Let them keep their jobs. For now. I want them to work for me. Sometimes revenge isn't about firing people. Sometimes it's about becoming their boss. Tomorrow, the family that had laughed at my startup would learn exactly what I'd built while they weren't paying attention. And their faces would be priceless. The Anderson Financial boardroom fell silent as I walked in. Gone was my casual Christmas dinner attire, replaced by a power suit that cost more than Jennifer's monthly salary. My assistant followed with the acquisition papers while my legal team filed in behind us. Ms. Chin, the board chairman stuttered, You're the anonymous investor? Surprise, I smiled, taking my seat at the head of the table. Dad's usual spot, though he wasn't here yet. Neither were Jennifer or Mark. They weren't high enough in the hierarchy to attend board meetings. But you're... Another board member started. The CEO of FinFlow? I finished for him. The little app that's been stealing your market share for the past year? Yes, that's me. I pulled up our presentation on the boardroom's outdated projector system. Let's talk about why Anderson Financial is worth more as part of FinFlow than as our competition. The elevator chimed and Dad walked in, freezing mid-step when he saw me. Sarah? What are you? Buying your company, I said calmly. Take a seat, Dad. You'll want to hear this. He sank into a chair, looking shell-shocked as I began my presentation. Anderson Financial's market value has dropped 40% in the past year. I displayed the graphs. Your technology is outdated, your customer acquisition costs are astronomical, and your younger clients are fleeing to more innovative platforms. Like yours, the chairman said quietly. Like mine, I agreed. FinFlow processes more transactions in a day than Anderson does in a month. Our AI-driven investment algorithms have outperformed your human advisors by 300%. And our operating costs are 1/10 of yours. My phone buzzed. Jennifer calling. News must have reached the lower floors. The choice is simple, I continued, ignoring the call. Accept our offer or watch your company become irrelevant within 5 years. This is absurd, Dad finally found his voice. You can't just what? I turned to him. Build a better company? Create superior technology? Or prove that your dismissal of my little app was the biggest mistake of your career? The boardroom doors burst open as Jennifer and Mark rushed in, clearly having overridden security protocols. What's going on? Jennifer demanded. There's a rumor that FinFlow is. She stopped short, seeing me at the head of the table. Perfect timing, I smiled. We were just discussing the new organizational structure. You might want to hear this, considering you both work here. Mark's face went pale. You're the one buying us? Already bought you, actually. I nodded to my lawyers, who began distributing the signed papers. The board approved the sale 10 minutes ago. They were just about to inform the staff. Jennifer collapsed into a chair. This is a joke. It has to be. Like my little app? I pulled up FinFlow's financial statements. The one you laughed at last night? The one that's now worth 30 times Anderson Financial's market cap. Dad stared at the numbers in disbelief. All this time I was building something revolutionary while you were all mocking my choices, I confirmed. Funny how that worked out. I stood up, smoothing my suit. Now, about those organizational changes. Jennifer, you can keep your corner office. For now. Though you might want to update your resume, we'll be modernizing that department soon. And me? Mark asked weakly. You'll report to my VP of sales. The one who's 25 and grew up coding. I'm sure you'll have lots to learn from her. My assistant appeared with more papers. The press release is ready, Ms. Chen. And the all-staff email announcing the acquisition is drafted. Send it, I said, watching my family's faces. Oh, and add a personal note to the Anderson family members. Something about the benefits of supporting innovative startups. Jennifer's phone pinged with the email. She read it, then looked up at me with new eyes. You're worth more money than this building, I finished for her. More than Anderson Financial made in its best year. More than Dad's entire retirement fund. I gathered my things, preparing to leave. By the way, about that marketing position you offered me, I think I'll pass. But feel free to apply for our open positions. We're always looking for people willing to learn new technologies. As I walked out, Dad called after me, Sarah, wait. I turned back one last time. Save it for the next staff meeting, Dad. I'll be your boss then. The elevator doors closed on their stunned faces. My assistant showed me my schedule. Press conferences, integration meetings, and a dinner reservation at the same restaurant where they'd mocked my startup idea 3 years ago. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just proving them wrong. It's becoming their boss and making them adapt to the future they laughed at. I smiled, thinking of Jennifer's face when she realized her little sister now owned her company. Time to show them what a little app could really do. 1 month after the acquisition, I stood in Anderson Financial's renovated lobby, watching the installation of FinFlow's sleek digital displays over the old-school mahogany paneling. The transformation was more than cosmetic. It was a statement about the future. Ms. Chen. My assistant appeared with the morning reports. The latest user migration numbers are in. 90% of Anderson's clients have switched to the FinFlow platform. And the holdouts? Mostly your father's long-term clients. Still resistant to the app thing, as they call it. I smiled, remembering Dad's Christmas dinner mockery. Now he spent his days teaching those same clients how to use our technology. Quite a change from his executive VP status. The elevator opened and Jennifer hurried out, clutching her new company laptop like a lifeline. She'd spent the past month in intensive training, learning our systems alongside entry-level employees. "Sarah," she called, then caught herself. "I mean, Miss Chin. Do you have a moment? Having trouble with the new CRM system?" I asked, knowing she was. Our monitoring showed she'd failed the basic proficiency test twice. "It's just different," she struggled to find diplomatic words. "More complex than our old methods." "You mean more efficient," I corrected her. "Like that little app you used to laugh at." Before she could respond, Mark rushed up, looking harried. "Sir, Ms. Chin, about the sales presentation. The one where you have to demonstrate our AI-driven investment algorithms?" I raised an eyebrow. "The technology you said would never catch on?" He flushed. "I'm having some technical difficulties. I noticed. Your performance metrics are in the bottom 10%. Not the kind of numbers we keep around at FinFlow." The color drained from his face. "Are you saying?" "I'm saying adapt or find a new job," I said firmly. FinFlow doesn't run on golf games and handshake deals. We run on innovation, efficiency, and results. My phone buzzed, Dad requesting another meeting. Probably to argue again about keeping some of the old systems in place. As if Anderson's outdated technology was worth preserving. "Miss Chin." My assistant appeared again. "The global team meeting is starting. They're waiting for you in the virtual conference room." I nodded, turning back to Jennifer and Mark. "If you'll excuse me, I have to lead a meeting with our offices in 12 countries. You know, from my little app, that would never succeed." As I walked away, I heard Jennifer whisper to Mark, "Did you see the news? Forbes just valued FinFlow at $40 billion. In the state-of-the-art conference room that had replaced the old boardroom's stuffy decor, I connected with team members across the world. The technology Dad had dismissed now powered a global financial revolution. "Before we begin," I announced to the screens of faces, "I'd like to welcome our former Anderson Financial employees who passed their technology certification. To those still working on it." I thought of Jennifer's failed tests. "Remember, you have until the end of the month to meet our standards." After the meeting, my assistant brought in the latest performance reports. "Your father's client retention numbers are dropping again. He's still resisting the full digital transition." I sighed, pulling up his file on my tablet. "Schedule a meeting. It's time he understands that the future doesn't care about his comfort zone." Looking out over the transformed office, I watched as decades of old-school finance gave way to the digital age. The mahogany and leather were gone, replaced by clean lines and smart surfaces. Anderson Financial's pretentious logo had been replaced by FinFlow's modern design. My phone buzzed with another text from Jennifer. "Can we talk?" "About Christmas dinner." Yes, the upcoming family gathering. The first since I'd bought their company and became their boss. "Sure," I typed back. "My office. The one that used to be Dad's." Sometimes success isn't just about proving them wrong. It's about forcing them to live in the future they mocked. I turned back to my screens, watching as millions of transactions flowed through my little app that would never succeed. Below, Jennifer and Mark struggled with technology that their entry-level colleagues mastered easily. And somewhere in the building, Dad was finally learning that golf games couldn't compete with algorithms. The revolution they'd laughed at had arrived. And I was leading it,